Live video back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog. Shout out to my everyday. We staying lit, big dog. Man, shout out to everybody who's pulling up in the chat. We got another lit live video for y'all as we coming live every night. Yeah, we got another lit live. Man, while we get started, man, shout out to all the mods who pulling up in the chat. Okay? Shout out to all the mods. And shout out to all the everyday people, man. We up in here. Make sure. Oh, shout out to everybody on Twitch. I see a lot of people are pulling up on Twitch and showing your boy some love. Make sure y'all go follow me on Facebook and Twitch, where we are actually live streaming now on both platforms. Okay, so if you follow me on Twitch, you can actually get the notification better. I'm just saying, just so if you go follow me on Twitch, you'll get the notification. Then you come over here and wild out with the rest of us on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Simple and easy. Not even hard, big dog. Not even hard. But anywho, we got another lit live video for y'all. We got Tima Sardine. Yeah, his wife is a cheater. She's a no good cheater. Alright? So let's watch it. Let's get into it. I ain't gonna hold you. Serving his wife divorce papers.
Constable office. Man with the constable's office.
Hi.
I think is it Fat Me Saturday?
Okay, hold on 1 second.
How you doing? Is it Fat Nine Saturday?
Huh?
How you pronounce it, Fatidine?
Yeah.
Is that Fatidine Saturday?
Fatima.
Fatima, okay.
Yeah.
This is a divorce citation, okay? And you got 20 days to contact the courts with your answer. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry to bother you.
He called her Fatidine. I don't think he knew her name.
Constable office. Man with the constable's office.
Hi.
I think is it Fat Me Saturday?
Okay, hold on 1 second.
How you doing? Is it Fat Nine Saturday?
Huh?
Well, they got some
How you
money.
pronounce it, Fatidine?
Yeah.
Is that Fatidine Saturday?
Fatima.
Fatima, okay.
Yeah.
This is a divorce citation, okay? And you got 20 days to contact the courts with your answer.
My Muslim wife cheated on me with 3 men in only 30 days of marriage. She is currently trying to extort me and my family for almost $400,000 of unpaid Mehr.
Damn, 30 days.
For the last 4 months because I was trying to resolve this as peacefully and respectfully as possible, just to try and move on and learn from my lesson. But my ex-wife is being extremely unreasonable. Her and her father are trying to abuse the court system in order to extort me and my family for almost $400,000. They have gone as far as to try and take possession of my home, take my furniture, even the most petty things like the pots and pans. And she has gone as far as to make false accusations against me, accusing me of abuse. So I've sat quiet long enough, and since there's no future of this getting solved quickly, as quietly as possible, I'm just telling the truth, my side of the story, because she is refusing to just sign the divorce papers and move on. So if she's gonna make me wait till, almost a year for my divorce to be finalized because she's trying to be petty and unreasonable, then I'm going to have to tell everyone the truth, because I'm not gonna sit quiet anymore. So I want to start this off. This is a copy of the Quran. This is mainly for the Muslim viewers. Wahyat Allah, everything I am going to say is the truth, and if I am lying, may Allah's curse be upon me. Now, even if you still don't want to take my word for it, I am going to show evidence for every single claim that I make. I am not lying. This is 100% the truth. It cannot be considered slanderous or defamatory because I will show exactly what I'm saying, unlike my ex-wife who is just throwing baseless accusations, thinking that no one would be questioning her. So I'm going to start by telling the story in chronological order. That way it's very clear and easy to follow through, and I will show the evidence as the story progresses. So me and my wife, we met on a Muslim marriage app called Muzz, and we had a very halal relationship. I spoke with her for 1 month before I decided to see her in person. I drove from Dallas to Houston, about 4-hour drive, to basically go on a date with her and her brother. So her weli was present. We talked and ate food for about like an hour. I left, went back home. She told her father about me. I told my parents about her. My parents then next week went to Houston to go meet her family, and then her family came back to Dallas to meet my family. And then the third time we went back to her house, that's when we asked for her hand in marriage, and we did what's called the Fatiha, the engagement part. A month and a half later, after the Fatiha, we did the Kitab, where we got religiously and legally married. Now, another month and a half after that, we had our wedding on December 22nd, 2024. We came back from our honeymoon on December 31st of 2024. And I believe she went back to Houston for like a week and a half because she wanted to celebrate her father's birthday in Houston. So she came back to my house in Dallas at around like January 10th. And then from January 10th of 2025 to January 31st, a day like after her birthday, it was like the night on her birthday, she downloads the dating app Hinge, and she gave her number to 3 men. I don't know exactly how many men she spoke with on Hinge or what kind of conversations she had, but she gave 3 numbers out, and this was all within like 20 days of living together. That she did 30 days of marriage, 20 days of living together. She went out on a date with one of them and exchange sexual illicit conversations with like 3 that I'm aware of. So I'm going to show the evidence right now. So right here, you can see the Hinge verification code. She's speaking to a guy named Maximilio. He's around 18 to 19 years old. My wife at the time was 25. So that's almost a 6-7 year age gap. And she's talking about, already having sex later down in the relationship. She doesn't want to have too much fun in the beginning. She then sets up a date to go with him to Big Dash and talks about how, they had a great conversation, how she loved the hug that the guy gave her. The second person she's talking to, he's making it very clear that he wants to have her send provocative photos. He wants to put a baby inside her. He wants to rip off the clothes. And then they're trying to coordinate a time for them to hang out where they just come over and chill at his house where she sleeps with him and spends the night, and they're trying to figure out an Uber and how they're going to meet up. I also want to add in there just a little bit of irony to the story. So keep in mind, I spoke with my wife for 1 month before I even got to go on a date with her. Okay. And I had to become my wife religiously and legally. And I was already about $30,000 at that point before I even gave my wife the first hug. I never touched my wife until like 3 months after I was married, like until the 3-month mark of talking to her when we were married and it was halal. But this guy, within 5 minutes of meeting each other and talking, gets a hug from my ex-wife. So it just shows the level of hypocrisy. And even more ironic, to the second person that she was talking to, the Asian dude, when me and my wife were religiously married, this was like a month after our kitab, she had a henna party, which is like a women's party where they celebrate. It's like a bachelorette's party. She had a pretty revealing dress that showed cleavage. And she told me that she is so modest that she doesn't even want to show the outfit to me, even though I'm her husband, because it's too soon. Even though we've been married for a month and it's halal, but she'll show this kafir within like 10 minutes, not even 3 minutes of talking to each other. She shows a very revealing dress with her cleavage that she was wearing to the baby shower. So it shows the level of hypocrisy that this woman has. She wants to act all modest with her husband and be reserved, even though we're religiously married and it's completely halal, but we'll go out and do something like this. Now, the third person, I don't have any more footage of it because my wife actually went through my phone and deleted everything, but I was smart enough to make a backup of everything because I figured she might do something like this when I wasn't looking. But for some reason, I guess I never backed up the third conversation, but she does admit to the 3 men further down when I showed more evidence. So now the next part of the story, I tell her father. Her father, this is like around 1 a.m. at night when I went through her phone. I call her father, I explain everything to him, and he says, okay, don't tell anything to her. He's going to come down from Houston that same night. He made a 4-hour trip within like 2.5 hours. He got to my house at 3:30 a.m. at night, okay? And the first thing he did, I spoke to him in the garage about everything that would happen. He's just in disbelief. He starts like hyperventilating, pacing back and forth, and then finally he goes inside my house and he asks Tima bluntly, and he says, Tima, did you download a dating app called Hinge and talk to 3 men and go out on a date with them? And she just admitted yes. And then he starts cursing and screaming and yelling at her. I was worried the cops were going to be called. So they pack like some of their stuff. They leave back to Houston. And he tells me before he leaves, Ahmed, it's up to your decision. Let me know what you're going to do. Okay. Basically I'm not overreacting. I never cursed, screamed, yelled at her, burned her clothes. I never did anything. I kept quiet until her father came in those 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So they left for Houston. And then after that, he calls me back a week later asking me, hey, have you decided what's going on? I also kept this a secret between us three. I never even told my parents. When my parents say, oh, where's your wife, Tima? I said, oh, she had a family emergency and she left to Houston. And, I concealed this while I'm cooling down before I make a decision. I already knew in my mind, okay, this is over. Because I told her my deal breaker was don't ever cheat on me. Don't ever joke about divorce. Don't ever joke about cheating. And thirdly, don't ever turn off your location and storm out the house. And then none of this, oh, I need to cool off. You go leave the house 1 hour, 2 hours, come back. So I already knew I was going to divorce her. However, I am trying to not be too rash. I'm trying to figure out how to do this while protecting her image, but also not wasting my time. So after a week, I told her father, hey, I don't think it's a good idea that we should try to go back together. We've already had too many problems, and this right here is the straw that broke the camel's back. After I told him that, I even said, listen, I won't even tell my parents why we got to. I'll just tell everyone that, we didn't get along. And that was it. And then I said she can even keep the gold that I gave her. I gave her like about $13,000 worth of gold. I said he can keep it. That way no one suspects that there was some fault on her end that she would have to give me the gold back. I said, just keep the gold. I don't expect any money back. I just want to move on and learn my lesson from this. And he's was persistent and said, think about it a little bit longer. He wanted me to, take a month to think about this. So I was like, okay, this is, keep in mind, like my ex-wife is no longer living with me. She's back in Houston with her father and I'm living alone. My parents think that there's a family emergency going on. So a week, 2, 3 goes by. He calls up, checks on me, and I'm going from sheikh to sheikh, mosque to mosque, trying to figure out what do I do in this situation, because her father said something that kind of alarmed me. There's like 3 weeks in of the decision on whether or not I want to divorce her. He tells me some absurd statement. He says, Ahmed, Tima loves you so much. I asked her, Tima, do you rather want the 300,000 unpaid Mehr or do you want Ahmed? And she said, no, Baba, I want Ahmed. And he's like, you see, Ahmed, this is how much she loves you. She doesn't even want the 300. And I'm thinking in my mind, what the hell? You think I'm gonna give her the $300,000 of unpaid Mehr after she cheated on me? That's when I knew this guy was beyond crazy. But I kept my composure. I told him, I don't even have 300,000. I spent every penny to get married to his daughter. So while Tima is in Houston, she is continuously begging me like a dog to forgive her. And I keep telling her, no, I'm not cursing her out. I'm not calling her any names. I'm just telling her like, hey, it's not going to work out. I told you what my deal breaker was. Don't ever cheat on me. Don't ever joke about divorce. Don't ever make jokes about cheating. And don't ever turn off your location or storm out the house in the middle of the night after an argument. So it's because I know I'm not able to reconcile with these things. And we've already been arguing 1 month into the marriage during supposed to be our honeymoon phase, but she is continuously asking for forgiveness. And I'm just saying, no. I'm telling her, listen, like, I don't have the rest of the mehed. The reason why they're asking for this mehed, because since I gave her talaq instead of her giving me khula, where the wife initiates it, but she has to repay everything back. Since she refused to divorce me, I'm telling her I want to divorce her, and she wasn't willing to. So I divorced her, gave her talak. They say, okay, well, if you're giving her talak, you need to give her her unpaid meher. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell? Like, you're the one that cheated on me. Now, in our marriage agreement, in the Cashapp contract or whatever, it's a very loosely written. It's nothing professional like a prenuptial agreement. It's just a symbolic document. So it said 125 ounces of gold or equivalent now, and then 100 ounces of gold later. So 125 ounces of gold at the time was like the equivalent of $330,000. Now, I never even gave her 25 ounces of gold I gave her like $13,000 worth of gold as part of like a wedding set. So does that mean our marriage is invalid religiously? No, because there was a verbal agreement that Ahmed, her father, told me, just give whatever you can afford, and the rest you pay it over the course of your lifetime at your convenience. There was no set month I have to pay everything. It was simply at my convenience, whether I pay it off next year or I pay it off when I'm 80 years old. Okay, so I never had the intention of divorcing. I tried, again, I blame myself for agreeing to that absurd price, but I looked at it as more of like makhar, where it's at a delayed portion, where if I ever do decide to divorce her for a stupid reason, like, oh, she burnt the chicken, or she became, fat after 5 kids and I lost interest. Yeah, like that's a reason not to divorce someone. So if you're going to do that, you got to pay up. But I had no intentions of cheating or breaking my vows. But a verbal agreement between me and her is just as good as something written on a piece of paper. Like, for example, part of her verbal agreement, it wasn't written down, was no second wife. Okay, it wasn't written down on the meher contract, but I understood she wouldn't want to be a second wife, so I accepted, just like how she accepted to never cheat on me. Like, you shouldn't have to write down as your vows or your meher contract, oh, by the way, don't cheat on me. Oh, by the way, don't, like it's self-explanatory. You don't cheat when you're married. So, yeah, that's the reason why I didn't want to pay it, but I didn't even ask for my money back. I just wanted to move on. I wanted her to leave me alone. I wanted her to sign the divorce papers, but she was insisting on trying to make it fix only because I could feel like, okay, yeah, she regrets the decision, but she knows her image would be destroyed and ruined. And she knows that if you get a divorce after 1 month, people are going to think the worst, which is true, cheating. That's the only reason why someone gets a divorce after 1 month. It's not like, oh, we dragged this out for 8 months, 1 year, then we get a divorce. Yeah, people don't get it. No, we got a divorce within 20 days of being married. Everyone's going to assume she cheated. And this is what she was trying so hard to avoid. That's why she was begging me like a dog to ask for forgiveness. And I'm going to show all this evidence right now. So about a month of me being separated from my ex-wife Tima, her father is kind of trying to pressure me to have her come stay with me. And I'm telling him, no, I don't want her at my house. I don't feel comfortable with her. I don't want her to try and influence my decision. It's best if she stays over there. And I even went down to Houston to go speak to their sheikh in Mediation Masjid and down in like Sugarland or Rosenberg or whatever. And, we tried consulting with the sheikh on what to do. And again, I'm a simple mechanic, right? I don't have $300,000. However, when the sheikh questioned her father, why the hell would you ask almost $325,000 from this guy when you know he's a mechanic? And he straight up said, oh, well, I thought his parents were going to pay for it. I thought his parents were going to front the bill. I don't know if maybe he came and saw my house originally. Maybe he would have offered a mehed, for $10,000. But because he saw my parents, are well off, alhamdulillah, they just assume that, okay, yeah, no, they're just gonna front the bill, just hand her $325,000. Like, that's absurd. But anyways, while they're telling me, oh, reconcile, do you want to give a chance? I'm saying, no, I can't give a chance. They're telling me, okay, just give her 2, 3, 4 months, but then I don't trust them to give her 2, 3, 4 months. If I do after 4 months say, listen, it's not going to work out, I want a divorce, you're going to start being vindictive and trying to extort me for this unpaid, because I don't agree that I need to pay her this mehed, but they have a couple of sheikhs saying, no, I need to pay the mehed because it's an agreement, and that's what was written down. But we also had a verbal agreement. Like, it wasn't written down, just like how no second wife, but I also said, don't cheat on me. Many times it's in text. But I'm not a sheikh, I'm not a scholar, and even if I can't afford to give that, I don't have that money. But you're telling me you want your daughter to still stay married to me against my wishes, like she's gonna be miserable. I'm never gonna talk to her, I'm never gonna sleep with her, I'm never gonna do anything with her. You want her to live a miserable life like that for a couple of months before she can no longer take it, and then she leaves, and then, you know, what, she gonna give me the gold back because I forced her if my whole intention was to simply, you know, avoid her? No. So I just told her, listen, just keep the gold, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to live with you, but she is so obsessed. She doesn't want to move on, and she's worried about her image, and she rather drag me down and make up the worst lies and accusation as possible in order to, you know, make her look like the victim. So after that meeting with the sheikh, her father tells me, you know, after trying to speak with me for 2 hours, I tell him, Amu, you know, like, I just think it's best if we divorce and move on. I promise you, I'll conceal it. Tima can keep the rest of the gold. I don't want it back. And he says, Ahmed, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, this is, you know, if Tima, you divorce her, it's your decision, but she's gonna ask for the full amount of the meher. And I'm telling him, you know, I don't have this meher. I don't have this. I'm a simple mechanic. I got a hole in my roof from the windstorm that I haven't fixed yet. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to give that reason. In exchange, like, you know, I'll just promise to conceal it. I haven't told my parents, but what he tells me is like, Ahmed, if you want to get a divorce, get your parents, let them know. And I'm telling her, are you sure you want me to tell my parents? Like, what? Like, they're not gonna be happy if I tell them this, and then it's gonna be out of my hands at this point. If I tell them, you know, I can't promise that no one's gonna spread rumors or whatever. So, you know, I tell them, and my parents were shocked, and they were in disbelief until my ex-wife Tima, you know, my parents asked, you know, is this true? And she admitted to it. And you know, after that, like a couple days later, her father buys a plane ticket for Tima to come back to Dallas. And Tima texts me in the middle of the day or night or whatever, come pick me up, I'm at the airport. And I'm like, what the hell? So you just try and show up randomly in my life and try and, you know, come stay back at my house. And I did not want her in my house because I was worried she's going to do some shit to frame me. So I tell her, you know, you can go stay at my mom's house, but you're not welcome to stay with me. So at that moment, you know, she's staying at my mom's house. We thought her father was going to come, like, you know, at a later date to come stay with, to come have this discussion. So Tima, her father, and my family discuss this, you know, problem, marriage dispute that we have. We're just trying to solve it peacefully and move on. But it's been like 1 week and her father hasn't come. So I'm asking Tima, hey, when's your flight back? When are you going back home? It's been 1 month. It's in the middle of Ramadan. Like, when are you going to go back to your family? And she tells me, oh, my father canceled all my plane tickets. I'm not coming back. I'm like, when's your father coming then? Oh, he says there's a family emergency. He's not going to be able to come back until Ramadan is over, which is like literally 30 days from then. And I said, there's no way in hell you're not staying this long. You can't burden my family, you know, like this. It's not right. You're my wife, but I don't want you at my house. So you need to go. I'm going to buy you a plane ticket. And then she tells her father, blah, 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 but Ahmed's buying me a plane ticket. What do? Her father calls me angrily. This is the first time I heard him, like, you know, show his true side, where he says, Ahmed, I told you, do not, it's your decision. But if you want you to divorce her, you're going to pay the full meher, $300,000. And I said, but I don't have that money. He said, then your parents are going to pay for it. And if not, then your family overseas is going to pay for it. And I'm like, are you sure you want me to tell that? I don't think it's a good idea. If I tell my parents you're expecting them to pay the meher, they're going to get angry. And he said, yes, no, tell them that I want your father to pay the $300,000 meher. And I'm sure he's going to change his mind after you tell him that. And I'm like, okay, I'll let him know. So after I tell my mom and my dad that, hey, Tima's father is demanding that you guys pay the meher since I can't afford it. And that made them go ballistic. They were just wondering, what audacity does her father have to demand this after his daughter cheated on me? And I'm going to give a little bit of context. I spent every penny I had to get married to this woman. I spent around $32,000 of my own money, and my parents pitched in like $6,000 to $8,000 of their money. And I went and got a second job to give her all the materialistic things. I drove as an Uber for those extra 3 months, you know, like from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m., like the max 8 hours or whatever it lets me work, so I can buy these expensive gold sets for her and give her all these specific traditional things she wants for the wedding, like that she would not marry me unless I completed this part of the cultural aspect of this marriage. So I overspent to the point where, like, 2 weeks before my wedding, I had to file bankruptcy because I was just paying so much in minimum monthly payments. I was never going to be able to pay this debt. So I thought it was best to just file bankruptcy. All my debt was just too much for me to pay off with the expenses of this wedding. It was the best decision I had to make at the time, because
don't get in debt for no wedding.
Everything I had. Now, you would think that story enough alone would convince her, like, damn, I kind of screwed this guy over. I set him back, years financially. Like, it got to the point where I had to get on food stamps when we were married. Like, this is like a month into the like, it was like 2 weeks into the, I'm like, hey, I need to file for food stamps. Give me your social security number so we can get some aid, to get EBT or SNAP or whatever it's called. Like, that's how down bad I was. So you would think with this sob story that's on my end, like, they're like, all right, let's leave the guy alone. He can't pay the mehed. We feel like you're entitled to it, but this guy can't pay it back. Like, maybe they thought I was going to be on a payment plan for the next 30, 40 years of my life, or they were just going to, garnish I don't know what they thought that this payment was going to come from, but it wasn't happening. So, when I tell my parents this, we tell her father, like, hey, again, come down so we can discuss this in person. We don't want to talk about this over the phone. And they hit him with there's a family emergency. We won't be able to come until after Ramadan. Now, we weren't waiting 30 days to have this. We needed to get Tima out of my parents' house immediately, because she could be planning something, to try and screw me over or accuse me and my parents of something. So, I was entertaining the idea of trying to come to a solution, like a potential reconciliation, where I said, okay, Tima, if you sign a post-nuptial agreement where you're not going to come and try and take my house, take my belongings, come after my money that I don't even have, like, I want to guarantee that you're going to leave peacefully. So sign a post-nuptial, and I will give you your 3-month, 4-month chance that you and your father are asking from me. But if I'm gonna risk staying married to you that long and potentially wasting my time, I want an assurance that I can leave you, swiftly, and none of this BS court, handling prosecutor stuff, the way typical, westernized women handle things in court. So she refused that idea, start quoting things from the Quran. Oh, how the haram, this is zulm, like, you can't demand, you're asking me to give up my meher, right? You're blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what? Like, I'm trying to find any reasonable solution. And then during that moment, she blurted out saying, if you come out and try and accuse me of cheating, then I'm going to accuse you of something and make up a lie so that way no one ever marries you, if you want no one to ever marry me. And that's when I was like, oh my God, she just shot down any chance of me ever forgiving. Now she's willing to accuse me of something falsely in order to prevent me from getting married, just as equivalent, as bad as of what she did. So at that moment, I went home. I filed divorce papers and had the constable come and serve her. And that day that she was served, she sent a message to her father. Her father finally made time and left Houston that same day and came to have a discussion with me and my family. And this was during Ramadan, so after iftar, we sat down for like 4 hours. He was trying to talk politely and calmly, telling me about how Ahmed, we're all children of Adam. No one is angels. We're not perfect. We make mistake. And then he starts throwing me with, listen, this is 50% your fault, 50% her fault. Making it like, I wasn't romantic enough. We argue and I don't know how to be delicate with a woman. I'm too logical like a man and she's too emotional like a woman. We have to find middle ground and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling him, no, it's still, I can't do it. I don't want to. And finally he, switched up the dial. Like the last hour, he started getting aggressive and he's like, Ahmed, and this is in front of my mom and my dad. So it's my mom, my dad, my father, and I, and Tima sitting in the patio at my parents' house having this. He straight up says, Ahmed, I am a hard fighter. أنا في Lebanese army 5-10 years. I don't remember. I lost my finger. Don't become enemies with me. If we become enemies, you enemy with the whole Sadadin family. So please, we are family. We're friends right now. Don't go on the bad side. Don't cross the line, Ahmed. He basically making a threat. Like he's going to play dirty. He's going to, it's on site. He said when the Samara family sees the Sadadin family, like in the street, it's going to be, a boxing match or whatever he's in. So that's what he was trying to get at, to trying to intimidate and extort me for 3. He's saying this all in front of my father and my mom. And keep in mind, they're trying to maintain the composure, but this is where he's showing his true colors. Like it just show how classless he is, him and his daughter, trying to quote from the Quran saying how I'm doing something haram, but his daughter, I need to forgive her. So after that, he gets up and says, I think our time here is done. Tima, yalla, let's go. That's when he leaves my parents' house. And when they're leaving the house, I give Tima every single piece of clothing she had. It was like maybe 15, 16 trash bags I stuffed in my car before they left. I said, because I didn't want them to have a reason to come back to my house. I didn't want, because legally she could have came and sat in my home and, just say, I don't want to leave. But now that she's, been gone out of my house for the last 4 months, she can't do that now. But I was worried she's going to try and play the system and just stay in the house and call the cops on me and accuse me of something nefarious, like, oh, I'm abused, kick me out of my home and the damage of my property. So I gave her every piece of clothing, every piece of, accessories that she has in my house, and I gave it back to her. They stuffed it all in their car and they drove back to Houston. This was after she got the divorce papers. And then I'm trying to calm things down. I'm like, listen, I wanted to take a month to think about this decision without any influence. I don't want Tima here to talk. I just want a month to myself. So since Tima is now gone, I will reconsider this marriage. If just give me, again, another month after Ramadan, I will let you know. But then they immediately, switched modes. Like, no, Ahmed, you already filed divorce papers. I have to, like you made up your mind, Ahmed, it's over. You showed like how disrespectful you could be. This is Tima accusing me of being disrespectful because I filed her to serve her divorce papers. So that's when she completely flipped a switch, her and her father, and look at me as public enemy number 1. So after this, fast forward 3 days later, I get an email notification. The respondent has submitted a general denial to the divorce. I go and open it, and this is when I can tell that my ex-wife is the most absurd, unrealistic, unreasonable, vindictive person ever. In the divorce process, right? I filed an uncontested divorce, and in this divorce, it even asked me, do you want to file a reason for divorce, like infidelity or cruelty? I said no reason. I was trying to just conceal this and protect her image. She responds with a general denial, and in the separate property section that I'm about to show you, she is asking for pink pots and pans, coffee bar set, master bedroom furniture, teapots and teacups, everything inside, like the little sugar packets, 30,000 wedding donation gifts, and then 350,000 marriage agreement. And when I read that, I was like, this woman is beyond crazy. What does she think that she can try and get this from me in court? Like, she knows I don't have any money, but what makes you think you're entitled to my furniture? What makes you think you're entitled to the coffee bar? Like, you want the mattress, the pots and pans? Like, this is someone like acting as a westernized woman. So when I saw this, I honestly got a little upset because now it shows me that these people, they are going to play like the dirty Americans. The way, you hear on the TV how the woman cheats on the husband and she divorces him, she takes half of her stuff. Like, this Tima was acting just like some kafir, westernized woman with no shame, no decency, nothing. And her father supporting this also ticked me off. Like, it just shows me your true colors now. Now I can tell what kind of person you are, what kind of character you have. So even while all this is going on, I could have, snapped back and went and, made this video and try and expose her and just talk a bunch of shit. I reached out to her brother, her 18-year-old brother named Fadi. I tried to maybe see if he can convince his father and his sister to come to senses, because what world do they think that they're gonna win any of this stuff? And even if they do, how will they claim this? Like, maybe they think the judge is gonna smack the gavel and force me to sell my home that I don't even own, or garnish my wages for the next 50 years, or throw me in jail if I don't pay. Like, that's what they don't understand. I don't know what version of the judicial system they think that is gonna benefit them. But I reach out and send a message to her brother, and he has no idea. And I tell him, hey man, the reason why Tima hasn't been here like the last month and a half was because she cheated on me, and I tried to cover this up. I told her she can, keep the gold. Like, I already spent every penny I had on her. I filed bankruptcy. I'm on food stamps. Like, I just want to be left alone. But her father is insisting that I pay them back, and he's going to make this a whole public mess. He's going to get the whole Arab community involved. He's going to get his people in Houston, and sheikh come down to here in Dallas, and my family and sheikh, and we're going to discuss this out, like how I dishonored his daughter. And I'm telling him, Fadi, like, explain to your father that Tima has nothing to gain from this, but everything to lose. Like, if I have to defend myself and tell the truth on why I don't want to pay the mehed, Tima will never get married. Like, no one is going to accept whatever excuse she has as to why she cheated on me in this sense. So please just tell them I want to solve this peacefully. I want to move on. I showed him the evidence of everything about how she's coming after the furniture, the pots and pans, and he just responds simply with, what the fuck, WTF? And I tell him, listen, I'm not asking you to pick a side. Please just talk some sense to them. Shortly after that, a couple days later, I get an email notification of 2 motions that she filed. A motion to seal the court record, and then a motion to transfer the court to Houston. Now, her reasoning to transfer to Houston, she just wants to inconvenience me. She wants me to have to come to Houston every time we have a court appearance and waste time. But she has no problem making me inconvenience, but she doesn't want to come to Colin. And then in her excuse that she says, oh, we had a majority of our marital events happen in Houston. Like, we had our kitab ceremony. He came on dates to Houston when we were engaged. Like, that's not a valid reason to transfer the court. But she was just doing it for the sole purpose to inconvenience to me, to burden me. And then she requests to seal the court because she said, I sent a threatening message to her brother saying how I'm going to threaten to harm her. They confused the statement I made about threatening to tell the truth with, oh, it's a threat to harm. I need to seal the court record. People, they seal the court record if they're like a prime suspect or a prime witness in a major case where they risk getting assassinated to prevent them from testifying. Like, you can't seal the court record simply because you don't want people to know the truth. So how do you have the audacity to try and sue me for almost $400,000 and the skin off my back, but you don't want anyone to know the details of the case? You want this to be concealed where no one can ever find out the true story of why Ahmed and Tima got a divorce? Like, that's absurd. So they were twisting the court and the court motions as much as possible. She even filed a protective order against me. She lives 4 hours away, 255 miles, and she's trying to get a protective order against me. And I have never made any threat towards her. I've never physically harmed her. But when you read the protective order application that she submits, it literally asks you generic questions like, hey, has this person ever been convicted of a felony? Yes, no, I don't know. Has this person ever been convicted of human trafficking? Yes, no, I don't know. Has this person ever committed sexual assault on a minor? Yes, no, I don't know. What do you think she put for all those questions? She could have put no, but she puts, I don't know. This guy could be a human trafficker, check mark. He could be a sex offender, check mark. He could be a mass murderer, check. Like, she just puts every box that makes me look like an absolute monster. And in the description, it's saying, when was the last time this person made a threat towards you to harm you? She is making the statement, oh, he threatened to slander and defame me. He sent a message to my brother saying he was going to expose me and ruin my reputation. Again, that's not a physical threat. Like, this protective order is to stop family violence. And in that protective order, she's asking for spousal support. We were literally married for 30 days, living together for 20. Her driver's license hasn't even updated to my, she never even changed her driver's license information. And she is trying to get me to
He on
pay her
food
spousal
stamps. What he
support,
gonna get?
alimony. And she's trying to get the sheriff's office to kick me out of my home so she can come take possession of my home because she has leftover property in my house. I gave her all her clothes back, but her interpretation of her property is all my furniture. She wants to come take my furniture, my mattress, my bed sheets, my pillows, the pots and pans, and the coffee bar. Like, her and her father are gonna come down with a U-Haul and just take all my clothes. Like, this is how dirty and trashy and classless, low life her and her father are. Because I know her father is the one telling her to do all this. She's not, you know, court savvy. I know her father is the one telling her, file this motion, file that, say this, say that. They even got her brother to falsify an affidavit of what I said. They accused me of threatening her and making up false statements. When it's like, if they wanted to show evidence, why couldn't they just screenshot the text I sent to her brother? Why do they want to make their brother write down a statement? So that just shows how petty and low life her and her father are. At this point, I still haven't said anything. She files the motions. I wait for the hearing. And thankfully, alhamdulillah, the judge can see through the BS. He denies both motions of the motion to transfer and the motion to seal the court. The judge denied that. And then he also denied her protective order. So she filed 2 protective orders. The first one, it got closed because she just didn't file it properly. And then I thought that's would, be a sign for her to stop trying that. She files a second one, and this time she files it properly, but then the judge looks over it and denies the protective order. But it's like, again, kind of scary because she even filed in that protective order to do what's called a temporary ex parte, where they have a hearing without me being present. So they want the judge to make a decision to kick me out of my home, grant her spousal support, and take all my possessions without me being there to defend myself. It's like an event to prevent like danger. Like, if, my spouse finds out that I filed a protective order, he's going to harm me. That's like what she was trying to do. And I'm doing everything pro se. She's doing everything pro se. Like, I don't want to lose my place to live just because I don't know how to file things properly in court. So thankfully, the judge denied all of that. After these verdicts, right, the judge ordered us to do mediation before a certain date, before our final divorce trial that is in person, which is all the way August 25th. I was married to this woman for 1 month. It took me 5 minutes to get married to her, but now it's going to take me 1 year to get a divorce. So, the judge ordered us to do mediation. And I reach out to her, send an email, and I say, hey, listen, we have 3 choices.
Y'all want to get married?
We can go to mediation and be firm and say like, hey, I'm not negotiating, you're not negotiating. That way we just say that we tried. It costs money. It's like $800 per person, almost $1,000 per person. So we can do that. Or we can settle this ourselves. Like, I'll give you the same offer. I will conceal this. I won't tell anyone. I just sign the divorce papers and leave me alone. You can keep the gold and I'll sign a confidentiality agreement. Thirdly, you can waste the court mediator's time and drag this out so they charge us for a full day, half day, or whatever, and tell your whole story, which they don't care. They're getting paid regardless, but we can either get this resolved in 1 hour and be charged, like $300, or we can resolve this in a whole day and be forced to pay $800 to $1,000. But just let me know what you want to do because I want to get this solved. So after all this, a week goes by, I don't get any response. Now, we're ordered by the court to communicate and set up a date. She has to pick a date and time. And I told her, listen, just you tell me what day. I don't want any problems. If you're free on this day, let me know. I'll let you pick the date and time. And then she ignores me. She's not responding. And it's like, I don't want to get in trouble by the court. Like, I don't know why she's ignoring it. I don't know what her plan is. Or really, at this point, I'm stumped. So I'm like, okay, let me reach out to one other person. I'm going to tell her uncle what she did, which is, her father's brother. I'm thinking maybe if I tell an adult, that will cause her father and Tima to behave, to see it from a rational adult's perspective. I send everything to her uncle. I tell him exactly what's going on. I send him all the evidence, and I'm telling him, please speak to them. Let us solve this. He calls me after like an hour and a half later, and he tells me, Wallah, Ahmed, This is the first time I'm hearing about this. From what her father told me, it was that you guys were just, you had an argument, and that's why she's staying in Houston. And right now the families are discussing it. But I had no idea you guys are in the middle of the divorce. I had no idea that she cheated. Like, this is all news to me. I'm sorry that this happened. And he tells me he told her father what happened, what I said, that how when we spoke on the phone, and her father's response to her uncle, which is his brother, he gives the excuse saying, no, don't believe what Ahmed is saying. These are just her friends. It's a misunderstanding. He's being stubborn. He just wants to find any reason to divorce her. But you can tell Ahmed that if he wants to divorce, we're going to want some of the meher back. And I'm thinking, what the hell is her father thinking? Again, why is her father trying to squeeze me for money when I am literally saying I will go and tell the truth and everyone will know what your daughter did? No one will ever marry her. She will grow old and die alone unless she swindles some random person that doesn't have social media and will see this video. But you know, he tells he tells his brother to tell me that they want a portion. I'm telling him, Hammuk, your brother already has my gold. I'm already filed bankruptcy. I have literally nothing to my name. I'm on food stamps. They know. With the fact that they're asking for this, it doesn't make sense. Like, do they know that I shared the video with you, the evidence? And he told me that no, they never said, he never said that I sent him video. He just told his brother that Ahmed called me and said this, and this. And he thought he could still trick his brother and lie to his brother and say that, no, there's not true. There's no evidence. He's just trying to divorce her. And all this time, her brother has the actual evidence. So now, when her brother calls, his brother, Tima's uncle, calls me again and then says, listen, I will let them know and I will tell them to reconsider. Now, I haven't heard anything back, and Tima is still going on social media, making claims, calling me an abuser, making all these allegations and statements, just ruining my reputation, trying to drag me down. Instead of her just trying to lay low for a year, no, she's trying to go and come out on top like a victim that survived. She's in her healing era, and she, cut off toxic people in her life. At the same time, she has to post pictures of me calling me like a rat and an abuser and just all these horrible claims. And I'm not going to sit quiet anymore. So I'm showing all the evidence because I just want to be divorced from her. But she is so obsessed with me. She wants to be married to me the very last day. We're going to get divorced on August 25th, 2025, no matter what. And she's not going to get a penny. The judge, even if the judge smacks the gavel and says, you owe her $400,000, guess what? How are they going to collect it? I'll file bankruptcy again. There's nothing they can do. She's not going to gain anything from this. We could be divorced today, tomorrow, if she just signs a divorce paper. But now, at this point, everyone knows the truth. So I can only imagine what she's going to say as a response. Maybe she's going to say, oh, it's fake. It's not true. AI. But listen, all the evidence that I showed, you could see her face and her sharing photos with, these random men, the text message conversations. I submitted all this evidence to the court. This is all public information. Anyone can see it. Anyone can see every single motion she's filed, every single thing that I filed. This is 100% truth. Whatever claim she makes is just a lie. I have tried to conceal this, to move on, to learn my lesson, but she is on a mission. And I have to say this. And if it hurts her reputation and if it hurts her ability to find a potential spouse, then that's the consequences. When you want to play dirty like this instead of moving on, when someone is trying to be nice and move on, like I have every right to demand my gold back. I'm not even asking her for, the $30,000 I spent or the $8,000 my parents spent or even the gold that I simply
spent all that just to get on food stamps.
But now at this point, she's already done enough damage. She's already probably polluted enough minds in her family, maybe tell them horrible stories. No, now everyone will know the truth. I've shared all the evidence, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen on our court date.
These are her posts. Golly, he got all the evidence. My favorite, I made a group chat exposing her and her father in front of the whole family for cheating and trying to extort me. Damn, he made a whole group chat with the whole family. Yo. Ooh, we no butterfly in the sky, cause I ain't gonna read all this crap. But yo, look at all the receipts after receipt after receipt after receipt. There's a motion to seal the court records, transfer venue, and notice of hearing, and the denial. Just divorce me and keep the gold, and I pray Allah gives you what you deserve. No, you want to divorce me and give me your D, and I'll forgive the mayor and give you back the gold. That's my solution. If you're trying to change my mind, it's not working. It shows me how selfish you are. I'm not. I'm being dead serious. How are you going to cheat on me and not let me go in peace? Selfish is asking me to give up my Islamic rights for your financial freedom. I love you. That's how. Man, these bras be shit.
I think I said that right. It's just.
This is her talking to Maximilio. That's a lot of messages. Showing she in the gym where she got a whole fucking cookie sheet full of chicken. She says, "Oh, you're so cute."
Is there a minimum? I think I said that right. It's just.
The text messages that she's showing are completely fake. Anyone can iMessage themselves and then change the contact name to an actual number to make it look like a legitimate text. But secondly, why would anyone ever admit that they're going to make fake evidence of accusing you of cheating in the first place? Like, why would they admit that on text? Thirdly, I have actual screen recordings and voice recordings of her admitting to cheating. And most importantly, just don't believe someone that uses Photoshop video editing apps like BodyTune and Pretty Up to make her appear snatched in all her pictures and videos. Like, she's clearly a liar, and she's trying to spin the narrative to make it seem like I'm the one that is abusing her and she's the victim. The last message I sent my ex was back in March, so her claim of me harassing her is completely false. The text message.
Alright guys, I have the craziest update that you've been waiting for. I discovered so many things about my ex-wife and her father in the last, I would say, 4 months. I've actually known this a month and a half ago, and I've just been waiting for the right time to release all this information. And all I'm going to summarize right now is that
here's the update.
More than what I could have asked for.
This is months later.
Even more than
the first video was in May.
The amount of reputational damage I'm about to do to her father and his daughter is, there's no amount of money. Like, this was not worth it. Like, the fact that they calculated, oh, you know, maybe we can get $400,000 worth of that. Even $1 million, $2 million, $5 million is not worth what I'm about to share with y'all. Okay, so I'm going to just say the topics right now to, you know, grab your attention. Back in 2006, discovered that her father was charged with possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance and manufacture that, specifically the white powdery substance that rhymes with propane. Now, I don't want to say the word just simply because I don't want none of these videos to get taken down, so I'm going to be very PG about it. Yeah, in 2006, he was arrested. He had a $500,000 bond, guys, okay? That $500,000 bond, that's the equivalent of almost $1 million in today's money. So he was under some serious waters. I believe it was like over like 400, 800 grams of that substance, of the narcotics. And then, and that's not it, right? 2022, he's got a charge, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and burglary with intent to commit another felony. And what was that related to? He broke into my ex-wife's boyfriend's house at that current time, held him at fun point. I don't want to say the word, but it's the firearm. Held him at saying, I will unalive you if you do not marry my daughter in the next 30 days or till the end of the month. And I will unalive your entire family here in Houston, overseas in Turkey. I know them about, I have people, I have connections. And then after that, he proceeded to beat him with a wooden bat and a paddle. And that wasn't enough. He brought his daughter with him, sadistically told him, grab my daughter's hand. And then he starts proceeding to beat both of them with the paddle, the bat, both his daughter and the boyfriend at that time. Like this is some 1860 shotgun wedding, you know? Yeah, he was charged in 2022 with that case, and he's on 5 years probation now. And what else? Oh yeah, and I discovered that this guy is not some entrepreneur, retired, he's got, you know, passive income. He portrayed himself to be like, you know, this nonchalant, relaxed, stay-at-home guy. I never, when the brief 3-4 months I known her father, when I would go back to his house to spend the weekend when me and my wife were engaged, I never saw this guy work. He would literally stay up till 5 a.m., 6 a.m., watching Turkish drama, smoking hookah, and spitting bizzit and chewing on nuts and seeds, and you know, goes to sleep and wakes up at 3 p.m. and his wife goes to work. I just did not understand what's going on with this dynamic. And turns out that this guy is a leech. He is on Social Security disability fraudulently. He's 51 years old, and there's nothing wrong with him, but he's just, you know, leeching from the government, you know, milking the system, claiming, oh, he's in pain, he's old, he's weak, he can't hurt. I discovered that back in 2020, he got into a truck driving accident in Ohio. Obviously, anytime there's an accident, people try and milk insurance. And he somehow in 2022 got a jury awarded him almost $5+ million. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this guy's a millionaire. Why is he trying to extort me for money? As I was reading the rest of the case history, the defense team was able to get that overturned, which is crazy, and appeal that verdict. And essentially they ended up not getting $5.5 million, and they ended up settling in 2024, and it did not work out in his favor. So he's flat out broke. He's still on Social Security disability, making, I don't know, maybe like, you know, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, just collecting cash from the government while still working. I have hours and hours of videos of him dancing, busting it down, doing crazy debka at my wedding, which I'm sure the Social Security office would love to see that footage. But anyways, everything I say, I'm gonna show you guys evidence, proof. I have body cam footage, mugshots, indictments, like absolutely every bit of juicy evidence. And just to satisfy y'all, again, this right here, copy of the Quran, right hand, wahiyat Allah. Everything I am about to tell you is the truth, and if I am lying, may Allah's curse be upon me. Now again, this is just for the Muslims. This is just to show how I'm not worried about any slander, any defamation, because it's going to be the truth. I know that this is 100% the truth. I have no problem backing my words, unlike my ex-wife, who just throws out a bunch of false claims in order to try and silence me. Her and her father have been attempting to oppress me for the last 6 months and trying to spin the narrative and make this propaganda about how, oh, she like broke up with me, she left me, and I am upset about that. And so I am so upset to the point where I'm going to make fake evidence of her cheating to make sure no one ever marries her. That's a just crazy narrative, Mossad level tactics. Like, they thought that they were gonna be able to get away with it, but I have mountains of evidence supporting my side. And obviously, once I started posting like trendy TikTok videos relating to her cheating and, you know, making short form content, and some of the videos went viral. She essentially had to disappear off the face of the internet, specifically TikTok. She deactivated her account. Haven't heard or seen anything in the last few months since the last update. She just couldn't take it because, you know, once I dropped that audio file, I secretly recorded her because I knew her and her father were going to be up to something nefarious, and I waited at the right time to share that audio file because it kind of contradicts every claim that she makes that, oh, I'm making fake evidence and I'm, you know, gonna Photoshop stuff, and she's uploading fake text messages that are alleged from my number. And that audio file essentially took her off the internet because she just could not take the heat anymore from it. So this is gonna take about like an hour to explain everything. I want the purpose of these videos to go viral, to make sure everyone sees this. At the same time, I'm not going to make it like a 1 hour long video. I'm going to break it up into 7. I'm not going to try and milk it. You know, I don't care about getting views like, oh, I want to monetize or something. I make like 1 minute videos and make 70 parts. No, it's like, I probably do 7-10 minute videos, probably do like 4 of those. I'll explain everything, and there's a lot to go over. I'm going to go everything in chronological order. I'm going to do a little recap in chronological order as the process goes along. That way it's easy to understand. But yeah, I have like everything. We got body cam footage, got open records requests. I got just about every single piece of evidence to refute what my ex-wife is saying. We have court on August 20th, so that's in a couple of days from me recording this, and it's a perfect time to upload it because the next time I'm gonna see her in person is literally in Collin County in Dallas. She's gonna have to drive to Houston, and it's actually on a Monday 9 a.m. Right, so that means either she's gonna have to book a hotel on a Sunday night, or she's gonna have to wake up 3 a.m. and drive. Probably wake up and leave the house at 2 a.m. and arrive to Dallas. You know, it's a 4-hour drive. So yeah, it's just really inconvenience for her because her and her father have been trying to burden me and, you know, swamp me with all of these motions and legal jargon and nonsense, trying to inconvenience me. And now,
wait a minute. This nigga room look better than mine. And he on food stamps? Let me continue.
I just cannot wait to see her waffling to the judge by herself. She's not representing with an attorney. She's not as articulate as myself. You should have seen her when we were having the motion hearings. She was waffling, barely talking, just saying absolute nonsense. And I just cannot wait to see her face as she's trying to explain to the judge why she feels entitled to almost $400,000, the furniture in my house, the pots and pans, the teacup, coffee bar, everything inside it. Yeah, I just cannot wait to see her argument. She's probably gonna, have a, mental breakdown and just start crying on the stand. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this right now, and I'm gonna start the series, or essentially the parts. All right, guys, so this is going to be a quick recap, part 1, make a brief summary of what happened. All right, guys, so this is going to be a quick recap, part 1, make a brief summary of what happened for those who are just now coming across this page and kind of forgot, want their mind refreshed. So I was married to a woman named Fatmi Sadedin, and you'll be hearing her name referred to as Tima Sadedin. That's her name. That's what she likes to go by. Yeah, so back in 2024, I met her on the Muslim marriage app called Muzz, and we kept it super halal. We got married after about 5 months of knowing each other. Our wedding was on December 26th.
We already we heard that part of us.
All right, so part 2, back where I left off, it was the mediation. So yeah, her second offer was, all right, just give her $15,000, no public apology video, and they even said, we understand you're broke, you just filed bankruptcy, you spent $31,000 to get married to this cheating woman. We can even set up like a payment plan, like how's that sound? Maybe like $200, $500 a month, doesn't matter if it takes 1 year, 5 years to pay back. We're willing to work with you. Like this mentality, thinking that I would even consider making payments to my ex-wife after she cheated on me with 3 men in 30 days of marriage. absurd. This is not the mentality of a Muslimah. This is the mentality of the trashiest, bottom of the barrel American kuffar. This is something that you see in Hollywood. Everything that she has absorbed from social media about divorce in America, she thought this was her shining moment. She's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna take his house. I'm gonna take his money. I'm gonna file protective order. He can't say anything bad about me, but I can say everything bad about him. This is that delusional, feminized Western mentality that she is now showing me. So I cannot take her as a light threat. This is something beyond humanity, where I have to, again, view her as an animal, right? She's going for the kill. I have to treat her as such. I can't let her get any advantage over me, because who knows what she's willing to do. If she's willing to go this far with those allegations of abuse and trauma, who knows what else she will say. So essentially, that shifted my mind, right? That made me pretty furious and angry. We never settled it, so we have court August 20th, a couple days coming up. So during this time this happened, the social media account that you guys are looking at now, it's not created by me. I had one of my friends make it. It's managed by them. It runs by them, just because in case she tries to get some BS court order of me harassing her and I gotta take down all the videos. It's not me. I make the video. I tell my side of the story. They can choose, my friends, to do what they want to do. They want to upload it. They want to put it behind a paywall, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram. I'm making sure I dance around the law, just in case she pulls a fast one and tries to silence me and restrict me from sharing any of this information publicly, which she's already made attempts to. So the account, before any of the videos were about, it had like just 3 videos on there. That freaking 55 1-hour long video explaining, it got like maybe 600 views, and that was it. All her family members saw it. That was my main intention. And then maybe a couple random people on the internet. That was it. That's what she was essentially dealing with at the time. Yes, she was already, exposed, but I gave her, listen, only 600 people saw it. 600 random people saw it. I can have the guy delete the video right now, and it won't ever, appear again. But if you don't, I will then go out of my way and make some of the best fire content to make sure it gets views, and the entire Arab TikTok will know it. I'll pay these influencers $100, $200, make a little story time video of what my situation. They would love. They'd eat that stuff up. Potentially get 500,000, 1 million views, and then what? Then you can't take it back. Once this information's out there, once the story's heard, that name is going to be ingrained into everyone's brain, and then this social media account is never going to go down. This is going to stay up for the rest of your life. Imagine you're trying to find a new prospect, you're trying to get married, they do a little background, they just type in your name on social media and they see these videos, you're cooked for, you're done. You're gonna have to change your name, you're gonna have to go marry some fob in a third world country who doesn't know what social media is, and hope to God that he treats you right, because I'm sure you still have your karma coming back for you, But where was I? So yeah, I then go make these videos, and I put the catchy, TikTok trends and the sounds, make short content format, goes viral. 50,000 views, 10,000, 20,000. Every person commenting, oh my God, I know that girl. Oh my God, I went to school with her, blah, 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 this, and that. I know her, this, I know that. It just, I couldn't have been happier. Like, this was perfect. She also had a large following on her. She had like 10,000 followers, and all of her content was just making up fake lies and accusing me of abusing her, making it where like I made her fat in our marriage, and then she had a glow up the second we got a divorce, which is completely untrue. Like, she uses apps like Pretty Up and Body Tune to distort her waist and make her look snatched, but that's irrelevant. I'm just letting you know, like, that's what her content was talking about, me making all these trends about, leaving your toxic ex and blah, blah, blah. Just all that nonsensical blabberjab that, airhead. Okay, so part 3.
We talked about all this.
That's when I realized that my ex-wife is essentially like, she's sinister. This type of thinking, this level of manipulation.
I'm gonna have to do this in a different one, because, bro,
he bends over right in front of me, and he has this like wooden mallet, maybe about like this big, and he just starts beating the shit at her.
Where does he get the mallet from?
He brought it in with the rifle. So he had the rifle and he had the mallet. So he like pulls up the mallet and he just like says, the adrenaline's going crazy.
This is about the dad.
What's going on?
How y'all doing?
Maybe. What's going on?
What's going on? So, man, what is probably now my ex-girlfriend, her dad found out that she was basically sneaking around with me behind his back. I didn't know that it was to that extent to where like her dad had known of me. But anyways, when he found out, he was furious. He took away her phone and everything like that. That's how it initially started. And I was like apologizing. I was like trying to meet him, like trying to like, you know, show him I'm a good guy. Like I'm not that crazy or anything. I'm not. Anyways, he disregarded all of that and he decided to, I guess, like somewhat fake. I have the text messages like he wanted to come see me tonight and get to know me or whatever. And so he comes over. He parks where you guys are parked now. My brother Bats was calling right here in the red. He gets out of his car. He's bringing in his Domino's pizza or whatever. We actually have a ring footage of it as well. He chases my brother in and follows him with a rifle in his hand, but we didn't see the rifle at first. And then my brother gets in, and right once he gets in, the guy literally right behind my brother just busts in the house, and I'm next to my brother. He pushes me back, and then he brings in his daughter, and then he starts yelling at me in Arabic. We're Arabs, so we speak Arabic. Basically throwing out all kinds of death threats to not only myself, but my family, my siblings, even family I have in Turkey, family that I have.
What is he saying?
He was basically saying, if you don't marry my daughter by the end of this month, by the last day of this month, if you don't marry her and you don't come to me and try to marry her, I'm going to go ahead and kill everyone you know. And he was like, this rifle is going to do the talking the next time I see you. And I was like, damn, okay. And then he proceeded to bend over his daughter right in front of us. I have the couch if y'all want to see how it's set up. Basically, I'm sitting on the couch here. There's that like middle console for the couch. He bends her over right in front of me, and he has this like wooden mallet, maybe about like this big, and he just starts beating the shit out of her.
Where does he get the mallet from?
He brought it in with the rifle. So he had the rifle and he had the mallet. So he like pulls out the mallet and he just like said like, so he's punishing his daughter right in front of. He also made my brother come down the stairs. So my brother was trying to go upstairs. He made him sit down and watch everything. And so basically it's my brother, me, and then her in front of me. He starts beating the shit out of her. And then he's like cussing at me in Arabic. She's crying and everything. Of course, she's in pain. And then he's like, all right, now your turn. And I'm like, what the hell? So then obviously he's got a fucking gun. I don't got shit. So I get up. He bends my ass over. He starts beating my shit. And I'm like, I take like 3-4 hits. And by the time the wooden mallet breaks, I hear the wooden mallet like hit the floor. So then I just look back and I look at it and I'm like, okay, so like, are we done here? I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like nonchalant about it, but anyways. He just continued to make more threats and everything like that. At one point he like searched my brother's phone to make sure that my brother wasn't trying to call you guys while everything was going on. This was about like a 5 to 10 minute, maybe 15-minute altercation. Just a lot more death threats and a lot more of, if you don't, you know, come marry my daughter, then I will kill you and I will kill everyone you know. I know where you live. I know where your siblings live. She will tell me everything if you don't tell me, blah, 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 like all that stuff. So that's basically A through Z.
Did he ever?
Is his daughter pregnant?
Did he point the gun at anybody?
Yes, me and him.
I was trying to like wrap
When did he do that? So when he got out the car, was he by himself? You didn't see
I was out here.
see his
So I
girlfriend?
was out here at the door. I turned around, slammed it for a quick second. Right when I slammed it and I walked away for a second, that door swung right back open. And I looked back and I just see him with his rifle. He was like, you're gonna sit here and watch, you're gonna sit here and watch. And while he was being beat, he was even threatening me. He's like, oh, you're next too. But that wooden mallet thing, whatever, broke on him. And he was like, all right, that's it.
Is that still in the house?
Nah, he picked up the pieces before he
But
left.
I do have that ring camera of him walking in.
He also did make other threats as he was leaving, saying that if we called the police, or if he called the police, or if I called the police, he was also going to come back and kill us.
Y'all have your IDs?
Not on me, but I can set them. This is where the scene had happened. You know, he buzzed in. He basically laid me and his daughter down like right here. First it was his daughter. My brother was sitting here. I was sitting there. First it was his daughter. He started beating her. And then after she was done, he like tossed her to the side on the floor, and then he made me get up. I laid down. Like I said, like that.
How old is she?
She's 21. We're both 21. I'm gonna look at my license. I'll be right back here.
It was a rifle, yeah.
His birthday.
Shotgun rifle.
And that's the daughter right there.
Okay.
And like you can even hear him. He's like telling me to come.
Yeah, he's like, come here. The eyes hold me. He's like, come here, come here. Sit, sit. I'll just translate.
Why is he upset that he wants you to marry his daughter?
So we're Arab, and in our culture, it's very like known and religiously like you're not supposed to have any form of it's like adultery. You're not supposed to have any physical touch. Like I wasn't even supposed to like touch it. But in there, he found that she had came over a couple of times and read through our text messages, and he realized like we're making out or like stuff like that. But this is like all with her consent.
Yeah.
But then her father, I mean, being a protective father, he went out and had a rage moment. I mean, that's not the greatest way to handle it, in my opinion. But
That's the wrong way to handle it.
100%, and telling me about the end of the month, trying to force me into a marriage. I was like, bro, what you think I'm gonna be happy in that marriage?
Nope.
You think I'm gonna be chilling? Like, yeah, I'm glad to be part of this family.
Yeah,
like, I was like, this is not how you do
That's
it.
how things work here, man.
Yeah. I feel bad for his daughter though. Like he had the audacity to beat her in front of
What's your phone number?
2 other men. Like how sick is that? And, I mean, after this restraining order and all that stuff going on, took away everything. And it's either she goes and like marries someone in Lebanon, or and like force her to marry someone there, or force her to marry me.
What's your address? What's your phone number?
That's in Rosenberg, Texas.
Did he live in Rosenberg?
Yeah. He drove like an hour just to do all that. Or like 45 minutes.
774
69.
I think you live somewhere around here.
I know that what I did too.
Well, typically you don't go to people's house with a shotgun, right? Just to have a heated conversation.
He bends over right in front.
Shotgun. Harris County. Give me a second.
Like grab permission to act.
We stopped because the paddle broke. Well, typically you don't go to people's house with a shotgun, right? Just to have a heated conversation. Okay. So, we came all the way over here because we got a complaint, right? And and we just want to know what happened. Okay, and we're really here for you. I understand that's your dad, but we're really here for you and to figure out everything that happened. Okay?
Yeah, me and him.
How long y'all been talking?
Me and him?
Mm-hmm.
Almost a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your dad didn't know?
No, he did know.
Okay.
He did know. He just did something that my dad didn't approve of.
What was that?
It's just something private relationship.
That's just between us.
I don't want to put something part of me and him's relationship.
Why not?
I don't feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
So it's just me and him's relationship. We just have I don't know. We were talking just fine.
Okay.
And my dad, he went to talk to him. He did text my dad. And he's
Okay.
like, I want to talk to you. And then my dad's like, all right. I'm coming on the way. And then he's like, okay. And all that. And then when me and my dad, we went there, the conversations got a little heated.
Okay. So there is a video, right? So I know your dad had a shotgun. I know you had a bag, right? So what happened with that? Why did he have a shotgun?
A video?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a video.
On the Ring doorbell. So why did your dad have the shotgun?
I don't know. He didn't use it.
He didn't. Well, that's obvious. What happened when y'all went in the house?
We just talked. That's all.
Y'all just
my dad,
talked.
he put the bag right by the door, and we just talked.
So you never got hit?
We all just had a heated conversation.
Okay. You have your ID? Well, your dad's gonna be arrested. Okay.
Why?
For what happened at the house.
For a little heated conversation.
For what your boyfriend said happened. Okay.
So what he says just goes and he said goes.
Well, typically you don't go to people's house with a shotgun, right? Just to have a heated conversation.
But that's all that happened. It was just a conversation. I was there.
So how did the conversation go?
He was just talking to my dad, and then my dad got angry and he was just like, "You can't do that. That's disrespectful." And then he was saying, "I'm sorry."
So he can't do what?
So you guys are just taking my dad.
So he can't do what?
He can't have.
Where's the
He had nowhere to leave. You don't know who I am. He bent over on the couch, beat her with a stick. Just told the boyfriend, "Hey, this is your turn." Bent the boyfriend over, beat him with a stick too. Then he told the boyfriend, "I'll give you 30 days to marry her. If you don't marry her, shotgun is going to do talking. I'm not going." Sure. What happened? What happened today?
Are you guys part of your team?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys
From the boyfriend, Omar. Yeah.
From Roseburg or from Harris?
Harris County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not from Virginia. We came from Harris County. From
Okay.
So what happened with your dad and your boyfriend? What happened? We saw the video.
We had a heated conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Who are you talking to right now? Who is it you think you see?
The dad is a whole ass gangster. I tell you what, Negro, you might whoop my ass right now while you got a gun, but I'm gonna come back. And that's him again. That's the friend. So both of them went to jail.
In the group chat with all his friends and family and relatives, like this is his brother, niece, nephew, his cousins, family friend of 10 years, air out all his dirty laundry. I show his criminal cases, his mugshot, his civil cases. I go and show the body cam footage of the whole situation of him faking a panic attack. I leave a nice little message explaining how he's trying to ruin me over and now he's, been exposed after 20 years. His wife leaves the group chat because she couldn't handle it. And then I go to Facebook. I want to send his entire family in Lebanon, just letting them know what kind of person, what kind of life he's living in America. So the thing I love about old people on Facebook, they follow their entire bloodline and they have a public profile. So it was easy to find all of his extended family in Lebanon and send them the mugshot and the TikTok profile.
Who are you?
Yeah, nowhere to leave. You don't know who I am. Cell phone, took her phone, and so do y'all supposed.
Oh, here you go.
He's gonna say, "Okay, we can't take him." With a gun in his hand into the house.
They arrested the dad.
Okay. Not restricted. Go over her, make sure she get ID, because I feel like she was. All right, Dad is gonna go to jail. All right. So when he gets out, he'll probably call you or call somebody else, come bond him out.
Can I ask him something before he goes?
What are you trying to ask him?
I want to ask him, you said to call my uncle and ask him if he does it.
Okay. Before you do that, did you get an ID already?
She doesn't know where it is.
I don't have that. I don't have an ID.
What do you mean you don't have an ID? You don't have a driver's
I
license?
have an ID. I don't have it. It's in the house.
Okay, can you go to the house and get it?
Okay, can I talk to my dad?
Okay, when you get it and come back, you let you talk to Dad, okay, before we leave.
Okay, it's gonna take a while because I don't know.
Okay.
You
So
lying
go ahead and come
bitch.
back. I'm gonna talk to Dad.
It's gonna take me a minute to get my ID. You should have just said you don't have it over here. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She said all that happened was they went to the house.
No.
Anything to help out?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so okay, cool.
You guys don't want my ID?
Oh, okay, they got it. They got it already. We're gonna log her deal so we can get out of here.
Can we have Sinister do a call back?
Go, just go around. He let you in so he can talk to you.
Hello,
Okay.
monitoring Sister to three.
Tell us to call up. Yeah, tell us about the bump medical. You see better than
Hey, did you have a heart condition?
Yes.
Okay, what is it? What do you take?
I take my medication.
You take medication?
I know.
Is the medication inside? Okay, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath, okay?
He didn't have a heart condition. We was pulling that gun out, whooping ass.
No. What's wrong with the seatbelt?
Yes, we have the medics coming to you, okay?
No, it's not restricting his breathing anyway. It's just there.
Hey, do you have his medication? Do me a favor. All his medication.
Can they come check you out, okay? They're on their way.
I'm nurse practitioner.
Are you his personal doctor? Or?
No, I'm a nurse practitioner. He's my brother.
Okay. Let's see that. So you're not even a doctor? Okay. Okay, I'll just make sure because they were calling the doctor to come confirm his medical history.
No.
So, okay, he's just a family member. You're not a doctor. Okay. You speak English, man?
Okay, I'm trying to
You speak English? Okay. Did he spank you? Did he bend you over and spank you with a wood? Oh, he didn't. Okay.
Who spanked?
Okay, well, your boyfriend said he spanked you and he spanked your boyfriend at the house. We got 2 witnesses that saw when he did it. There's 2 of them.
Say it again, please.
Okay. He went up there to her boyfriend's house because they've been dating for a while. Dad didn't know about it. So when he found out, he got mad. He went up there, he took a shotgun with him, went up there to the boyfriend's house, pointed the shotgun, said, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill your whole family. In Turkey, I know where they live, you don't know who I am. He bent her over on the couch, beat her with a stick. They told the boyfriend, hey, this is your turn. Bent the boyfriend over, beat him with a stick too. Forced his way into the house. Yeah. Took cell phone, took her phone. And
So, do y'all supposed to get married?
then he told the boyfriend, I'll give you 30 days to marry her. If you don't marry her, shotgun is gonna do talking. I'm not gonna talk anymore. Shotgun is gonna do talking. So she's hiding all this story because she doesn't want you all to know about it. She's giving you half and half. Oh, this is what happened. This is what happened. We saw the ring video of when he forced his way in with a gun in his hand into the house. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna go back and forth, but he got to go.
He's still going to jail.
Who are you talking to?
So right here, I want to clear up 2 misconceptions. So the guy in the body cam footage, that is not me. That is her ex-boyfriend at the time. All right, so I'm going to address a couple more questions. All right, y'all. So I just came back from court about like an hour ago. So the judge unfortunately awarded her like the $400,000 dowry and then all the furniture. I have about like 30 days to move out because she got possession of my home. So I'm gonna go live back with my parents until I can, find a new place to stay. I'm just kidding, bro. I won everything in court. This bitch didn't get a single penny from me. I absolutely smeared the floor with this woman and her freaking father, dude. And honestly, this went better than I expected. I was worried I wasn't gonna be as articulate because I don't know the technical legal words to present evidence, and the judge was probably gonna just have none of that BS and just deny me from talking and her talking, because he doesn't care, that we're both pro se and not lawyers. He just wants things to go like clockwork, like it's been going for the last 70 years of his job as a judge. But I'm gonna basically tell you how things happen, bro. It got even crazier, and I actually said, hey, I'm not gonna disclose everything that happened in our marriage because, I want to maintain the peace. But what she did in court today crossed the boundaries lowered the bar even more. You guys thought the bar was low. Now wait till you find out what I'm about to tell you. So now I'm gonna actually divulge all the other stuff that I was preventing from sharing with you guys because I was trying to spare her the humiliation. So right off the bat, the day before, you know, the court date, I got the fit played out, laid on the bed like it's first day of middle school. You know, got the group chat telling boys, all right, we waking up 5:30 a.m. We're gonna arrive in like, you know, 6 black Lincoln Navigators tinted out, all black suits and shades, whatever. I start leaving to court. Court's at 9 o'clock, okay? And I get there at 8:30. I want to be there early, you know, just to make sure I know where the room is and all that good stuff. I'm anticipating like, okay, you know, these people, they're coming from out of Houston, her and her father and her mom, so they're gonna have to like probably book the hotel or they stayed somewhere the night before to plan for this court date on Wednesday 9 a.m. So they were actually there earlier. And as I was walking towards the 417th District courtroom, or at least the outside bench of the courtroom, I was thinking, okay, I gotta be aware. I know her father, Jed, is probably gonna be there, and he's probably gonna act like a tough guy. You know, this is gonna be the first time I see him after airing out all his shit, bro. So, probably shouldn't have said that. I don't want to get it taken down. Yeah, so I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna try and mean mug me and intimidate me. I'm gonna just smirk. All right, when I see him, I'm gonna smirk. Second I see that big old bowling ball belly of his, and he was wearing some black shades on his eyes, I looked at him, just gave him one of these. Okay, and there was 2 benches right in front of the courtroom, and he was sitting on the end of it. There was like a group of people there, and there was really nowhere else to sit. And also I want to do like a little power move. I don't want it to show like, oh, I'm afraid, I'm gonna hide, I'm gonna go by myself. Nah, I sat right next to, there's a person in between us, right? And we're like about 10 feet apart, okay? The second I sit down, the person in between us gets up. So literally, like, if I just turn the camera, like, you know, like my head like this way, he'd be right there. His wife's back was given towards me like this, and then his daughter, and then him on the other side of it. And just the mom and the dad, her mom and dad came. And again, I was like thinking, okay, is this guy like mean mugging me? Like, is he trying to intimidate me? He's not looking at me, not paying attention to me. You know, 8:45 comes along, the courtroom doors open. They walk up, they go inside first thing, you know. I think like they want to get a head start. Maybe they want to ask the prosecutor some stuff. I don't know. Or excuse me, the judge, the court coordinator. And so yeah. After that happened, like I could sense, like, you know, he was walking in and out of the courtroom. I'm deliberately making eye contact with him because I want him to know, like, I'm not afraid. I don't feel any embarrassment. I'm not a tough guy myself, but I'm just trying to put my head in the mind of a criminal, right? This guy wants to intimidate me. Let me, you know, be the one to remove the shyness. You know, I'm just staring at him like that, you know, anytime. And the second we make eye contact, he breaks eye contact. He just looks somewhere else. So I get like, okay, this guy doesn't want to stare me down. Well, oh well. I guess he's, you know, not the tough guy he claims himself to be. We go to court. My mom's there. My dad's there. I got the whole squad. The group chat's there. They came like a little late because traffic was crazy. So they showed up like, you know, 5 minutes late. Court didn't start until like 9:10 or whatever. Now I was the I'm the plaintiff. I filed for the divorce. So I got to speak first. Okay. And I got this whole little, you know, sheet right here. I got everything, like, you know, what I'm gonna say, you know, in order to basically trap my wife into, you know, a lie. Like, I want to basically catch her committing perjury, get her contempt in court, judge, you know, sentence her, you know, 40 days in jail or like a $5,000 fine. Like, and when I was reading down this list, I basically gave a brief backstory, small backstory, like a 2-minute monologue of essentially why I'm filing for divorce. And then finally, I got to the actual stuff that matters. Like, okay, does she have a right to the master bedroom set, the pink pots and pans, the coffee bar, all that nonsense? Again, I refuted it. Hey, not communal property. This was before we were married. It's not considered a marital asset, so it's irrelevant. Then I started asking her. I said, I got it right here. It said, I would like to ask the respondent some questions about her demands, right? Because I want her to clarify some of the things that she was going to say. That way, when she lies, I can get her an aha moment, okay? So I said, have you purchased any of these said items that you are demanding in the separate property section of our divorce petition? And she straight up is like, I don't remember. You don't remember what you paid for the master bedroom set? I don't recall. She's trying to, you know, be fresh, be like, you know, funny about it, you know, pretend like she doesn't know. Just say no, you didn't buy it. And then I asked her something like, you know, like, okay, what about the coffee bar? Did you buy that? She says, oh, well, actually, yeah, you took my money from my school and my wedding and $20,000, and you used that to buy the coffee bar. And I'm like, what? What does that have to do with it? Whatever, I didn't care. I just want to go and ask her these lists of questions because I'm just trying to rack her statements up to make her commit. Keep in mind, when you question and you go on the stand, say, swear, raise your right hand, swear under oath that you testify to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. But yeah, we said all that. We raised our hands. She raised her hand, swearing to the truth, telling this is nothing but the truth, but for God. So then I go and I ask her, okay, ask about the $30,000 wedding cash. How did you calculate that number? She should have just said like, oh, you know, but she started making that, oh, that's not what I wanted to write. Like, you owe me I'm willing to settle it for $20,000. I'm like, I had to say, why did you write, he owes me $30,000 wedding cash? Oh, well, because, you know, you agreed to that. This is not the Mehed certificate that we signed. This is just, you made up the number 30,000 because you want to, you know, collect the donations that we got from the wedding gifts, okay? Whatever, I didn't care. She's saying some nonsense. Who cares? Next question. I asked her about the gold sets. Are you missing any gold jewelry? She says yes. And I'm like, okay, can you describe this jewelry, ma'am? She says, I don't remember. You can't describe the jewelry. Was it a necklace that you're missing? Was it a bracelet? Was it a ring? I don't remember. I'm just missing it. I'm not worried. I don't care how it's irrelevant if she answers or not, because I literally have her 4K 60 FPS caught red-handed. Like, she's not going to be able to deny this proof, okay? So whatever nonsense she's saying, I got evidence. Every time I ask her a question, it's because I have evidence on it. I'm not going to ask her a question, something I don't have evidence on. So then ask her, okay, can you describe any clothing items or handbags, purses, perfumes? Yeah, some handbags. I said, oh, handbags, you say? Was it the Christian Dior handbag? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Can you please describe that handbag? I don't remember. You don't remember your $6,000, $7,000 Christian Dior handbag? Probably fake. Knowing her father, I don't know how many Social Security disability checks you need to get a Christian Dior handbag. But you know, she's trying to just say, I don't know, I can't tell. I say, okay, well, would you say the Christian Dior handbag is a blue with cream color scheme? It's almost like a tote. I guess. Okay, no problem. Next question. Did you download the dating app Hinge and speak to other men behind my back and go out on a date with one of these men? With the most straightest face, she leans into the mic. No. I'm sitting there. Yes. No. Yes. Continue this rabbit hole and lie. Okay? Okay? And then I was surprised that she was gonna deny that she cheated on me. I thought she was gonna like at least own up and say, "Oh, I went out on a date, but it wasn't cheating." You know, that's normal. It's not cheating to go on a date with another man behind your husband's back of 30 days and give him a hug and then have sexual conversations, right? That's just, you know, American stuff. You know, like that's the argument she was gonna try and make, right? So I asked her, like, you know, I was gonna have another 2 more questions, you know, say, ask her if she thinks it's normal behavior for a married woman to do that, because I thought she was just gonna admit it, but no, she just off the dome, just saying random stuff, okay? Then I say, like, okay, ask her why she thinks I owe her $350,000. She said, I don't think I'm entitled to it. It's that you agreed to pay that amount, okay? And that's what I want. It's rightfully mine. I say, okay, bet. I then ask her, have I ever abused you during the marriage? And then she says, yes. I said, okay, can you please describe? I am not going to discuss my abuse with my abuser. I don't feel comfortable saying that. The judge is all like, Bitch, you better answer this. Ain't up to your discretion. You gotta answer the question, and you gotta testify. You can't just say, "Oh, I invoked the right to remain silent." Yeah, that's what she said. She said, "I want to remain silent." And the judge got he literally gave that look like, like that with the guy taking out the headphone. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You have the right to remain silent. Answer the damn question, okay?
I want to get to these.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it for.
Stand up.
Let's hear it for the band of the year.
Your mom has never been this hostile, saying
Because
shit
they're
to
just
you
now
like
finding
that.
out that, because Tima, it's like you have to have a lot of nerve to be demanding this type of thing when it's like the odds aren't in your favor. Like, it's not like I'm the one that cheated and I'm the one demanding all. Like, your father is literally saying, I'm gonna tell the whole world that my daughter cheat, and I'm gonna tell the whole world that I demand $295,000 of unpaid Mehr. Like, that is a very bold claim to be. Like, someone has to have a lot of audacity to demand that, instead of 99% of the people be like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Here, let's just make this a private thing between us. We don't tell anyone. You don't tell anyone. Forget about the unpaid Mehr. We're sorry about what this happened. It's a misunderstanding.
What am I to you? Am I just nothing?
No, you're not nothing. But I told you, how many times did I tell you what my deal breaker was before we were even talking, when we were engaged and when we were married? I told you my deal breakers were: don't ever joke or mention divorce. Don't ever turn off your location and storm out the house, especially in the middle of the night. And 3, don't cheat. Not, oh, don't have intercourse with a man and commit full zina. No, don't even talk to a man. Don't even go on. Don't even download a dating app. It would make no difference if you just downloaded a dating app. That's still, I'd want a divorce.
Yep, I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
Wallah, I understand you're sorry.
No, you don't. You don't understand. Because you want to get rid of me. You want to end it.
I don't want to waste your time.
Why would you throw me aside? That is
Tima,
not
because
true.
it's because I know that I won't be able to love you the way a husband loves a wife, and I don't want to waste your time.
So you never loved me.
Tima, clearly I loved you if a guy goes in freaking bankruptcy and spends every penny that he has. If that's not love, I don't know what is. That's the standard. That's the standard. Okay.
When you go through big hardships and
Tima, is me giving you every penny I ever owned and didn't own, to the point I've never declared bankruptcy in my life. Old people declare bankruptcy. 50-year-olds, 70-year-olds. I'm 20 in my 20s and I declare bankruptcy. I didn't declare bankruptcy one year.
Why are you blaming me?
Tima, because I'm not blaming you. I'm showing you that I truly did love you. I put everything I had into you.
If you truly did, then you would want to try.
Tima, but these actions make me lose feeling. Just like how my dad said, Tima, there's some people, when they find out that their wife cheated on them, they get the gun and they blow their brains out. There's some people, I love her so much, I don't care, I don't want to lose her, I want to keep her, I'll forgive her. And there's some people like me where they're like, I don't want to keep you, but I know I don't. It's not that I don't care and I can be with. It's just that I won't be happy, and I don't want to continue to remember this. I want to just be happy. I want to be happy to marry, and I can't be happy if this action happened.
I understand how you can just throw me aside. It's like I'm nothing.
Let's hear it for the band.
Well, everyday people, it seems that he got his divorce. We didn't have to go through all that story about what happened in court, because we all know what happened. He told us what he had. He had everything that he needed to just get the divorce. Like, girl, I'm not paying you a freaking dime. Anyway, it's best not to even get married, man. These motherfuckers be lying anyway. But if you are married, stay married. Work on your relationship and try not to cheat in the first 30 days. In fact, try not to cheat for the rest of your life. Because when you get married, you're actually making a vow to just be with this one person and make them happy. So if you can't attempt to make them happy, I got a video I'm dropping tomorrow where a lady is unhappy about her marriage. And it's just like, her thing is she's like, I have to worry about a whole other person. Well, yeah, whether you get married, whether you have kids, or anything. I watched a video the other day where a girl was, talking about how her life is much easier without a man in her life. It's just her and her child. Excuse me, what? Because you don't have to worry about taking a man's, washing his clothes, cooking for him, cleaning up after him, arguing with him. You don't want to have to worry about nothing, so you have a whole child. Then she continues to say how men are deadbeats and all this and that. So what is your husband or your baby daddy? Speaking of baby daddies, I'm a good one. I don't know. Maybe somebody might think otherwise, but I don't know. I actually know. I take that back. I'm a shitty baby daddy. Terrible. The worst. The absolute worst. In fact, if it was a baby daddy, if baby daddy was in the dictionary, my picture would be next to it like that. Bitch, I'm gone, okay? As soon as you get me as a baby daddy, shit, fuck you. Fuck you mean. Whatever they say, believe it, okay? And as a husband, I'm gonna tell you what, my marriage didn't last long, but I could tell you, if I would have been more mature, I could have made my marriage work. And that's the thing I learned after, years of growing. I was like, yeah, I knew then I could have made it work. But it wasn't even a bad marriage, really. It was just, we doing shit. And I was young. I was still getting it. I thought I was the man. Well, now, if I choose to be with somebody, I sure don't want them fucking asking other bitches who the fuck I am. Weirdo. But other than that, I'm perfectly fine. I'll be the perfect husband. I wouldn't cheat on you in the first 30 days. I at least wait till, you hit menopause. You know what I'm saying? Once you hit menopause, I'm cheating. With somebody younger. Somebody 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Oh, just bullshit. But whatever. Shout out to this guy. Really, he really tried to save face for this woman. She did not like what was going on in that relationship. She could have been better. And you know what? Listen to this. I always say this, man. Get you a cool 6, man. Get you a cool 6. You don't need a 7. You don't need an 8, 9, 10. You definitely don't need a 10. 8. If you luck out and get an 8 and she like top notch, you know what I'm saying? But get you a 6. Get you a 7. A high 6, low 7. But in this case, he got him a cool 4. You know what I'm saying? 5. I give up 5. And I don't like to rate women like that, because I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But he got she was BFF, big, fine, and fluffy, and I think she started to feel herself. She started to, when you get attention from other, the opposite sex, you get it more and more, especially because you have your glow up stage. I don't know why she decided to get married and feel this way. She shouldn't have been married, but I think she wanted to be promiscuous in the first place, but don't get married and do it. And then the only reason why I think she got married is because of her dad. Her dad was probably still putting belt to ass and telling her, girl, you got to get married, And she didn't find the rich guy. She found just an everyday modern man. And No, she looked absolutely horrible with the makeup. So she found a regular guy, makes a decent living. His parents are well-to-do, so eventually he'll come into something. But you have to actually make it through the marriage. And the fact that she had time on her hands to cheat within 30 days when she was saying, oh, I'm going here, but really she was going to get on Hinge and date around. Like, why weren't you on that before you got married? Like, well, she probably was. 9 times out of 10, she was probably cheating before that, you know? They don't just cheat like, they don't just like cheat like all of a sudden. She been doing other stuff with other men and stuff like that. She wasn't a virgin, you know. What was something else she said? I don't know men who ever, you know, women have a higher sex drive than men. If she's saying all that, yeah, she was definitely getting waxed. But she did use a filter. I mean, she wasn't a bad looking lady. She was just short, you know. She had a round face, you know. One baby, plickety plop, boom boom. Like, she was already full figure without being full figure. She was just like, she was figured, you know. She was figured. But yeah, it's a sad situation. He did what he was supposed to do. He got out of that relationship. I'm sure he'll get another one, and I hope he don't take this malice into the next relationship, which he probably will, because the fact that he is like, that probably broke his heart. He probably poured all that he had into this woman, and it wasn't much. Obviously, man had to get on his food stamps soon after, but that's why she cheated. She cheated because he was broke. Had he had money, she would have been under his wing every day. She wanted a man with money. That's what she wanted. She didn't want nothing else. Did you see her mama's house? If you wasn't here at the beginning, let me go to the beginning. This is her parents' house. Like, she still live with her parents. They have a whole fountain in the front yard. Like, double doors, glass. You know, the mom comes to the door in a robe. Look at that. Look at that. You see that whole fountain? And look how she dressed. Like she just stepped out of goddamn Route 21 with that damn Tasmanian Devil t-shirt. Served some divorce papers. So, you know, I just think it's absolutely crazy. Like, that house is fat as hell. Yeah, it should have been somebody she should have married somebody with money. But you know why she didn't marry somebody with money? Because she don't look like a person with money. I mean, she might have it, so you know how big girls, when they got money, they spend a lot of money. Big girls with money, they just spend it. They don't nobody really take them serious. They just spend money on guys. But if she was pretty, if she was like an 8 or a 9 and had a family like that, ain't no doubt in my mind. Look, they got BMWs, Mercedes in the front yard. It ain't no doubt in my mind she would have found her a nice, well-to-do Muslim. But she just had to get what she can get. You know, they say date in your wage gap, or the level of money you make. Well, for women, it's like dating your attractive gap. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all big girls. I mean, a lot of them, not all of them. But it is what it is. Ain't no hard feelings. Cause listen, fat men spend money too. You ever see a fat man with a woman? Man, I forgot where I was at, and I seen this petite girl, beautiful. And the guy she was with, I was like, oh yeah, he got some money. So, meaning to say, pretty girls can't get men with money. Bigger girls tend to have to, you know, date within their looks. But men with money, whether you be fat, ugly, just unattractive, musty, don't dress right, but if you got money, you can damn near get whatever you want. If you got money. I'm not saying all big girls, I'm just saying the ones I've seen. It's just the ones I've seen. It ain't just every man. I know a big girl, and she pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? She real decent, in fact. But she got her shit together. So you think that she about to marry a bum? Hell no. Okay? She part of the BFF. Big, fine, and fluffy, and she paid. Okay? So when I say, like, so this girl, just pertaining to this woman right here, not all big women. Look how she carry herself. It's probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Her mama got on jeans, a t-shirt, and a robe, and she's walking around in a Tasmanian devil shirt, not her, not done. You think that she was going after the $1 million man? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, the first boyfriend that she had, he was living with like 3 other guys. Like, what are we talking about? So, it's just certain, like her. Just because her parents got money, it don't put the confidence in her to be this high class person who she probably has no skills. Obviously, she don't have no job, and she's not that attractive on many levels. Now, can she doll herself up and look good? Yeah, probably all the time, especially since she got married and started cheating on her husband. But, you know, absolutely T6, too something to do something. Y'all gotta understand, it ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of cushion for that pushing. Okay? Let me tell y'all why big women the best. You ever been ate by a girl who like to eat? Everyday people, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.